good morning or good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for today's presentation of Excellence Can Be Yours, Mastering Power Platform Adoption and Governance with WIPM's Jeff Willinger and Andrea Mondello, and also Microsoft's Manish Dahl, Neem Doan, and Jeff Rigsby. We'll be getting started in just a minute. We do encourage you to interact with the presentation and ask questions, so please utilize the chat feature in Teams. You'll be receiving a copy of the slides and the recording in just a few days, so you can review the presentation if you would like. So that was short. That's it from me. I'm going to pass the mic over to Jeff Willinger. Jeff?
Well, thank you very much, Brenna. And I want to thank my fellow colleagues, Andrea, who I've been working with for the past, it seems like 10 years. It's only been a year and a half, but thanks, Andrea.
Is that good or bad, Jeff? I don't know.
And our partners, our partner management team of Jeff Rigsby, Manish Dahl, and Neem Doan. Super excited to have you all with us today. We have a lot to cover in a short period of time. And like Brenna mentioned earlier, feel free as much as, and I know a lot of you know me, and I definitely like talking, and I know Andrea does too. You'll notice we have a Power Minute and Power Platform background because Andrea and I also have got a YouTube series. You can look us up on YouTube where we talk about every single aspect of the Power Platform. Very entertaining, and spoiler alert, it's more than a minute. But we have a lot to cover today, so let's get into it. And because I am a typical guy, if I don't put a table of contents on, we tend to get off track. So we're going to talk super briefly about who WITHM is, blockers to expanding licensing and adoption of the Power Platform. We actually have, we're going to talk about a case study. Who is this for? Is it for you, so to speak? Kind of the most important part is why do you need WITHM and where we add value? The success story, which is basically what I had mentioned earlier. And then, of course, what I would consider would be a call to action. The WITHM approach really focuses on leveraging the power of the Microsoft Cloud and AI technologies to drive organizations' success in today's crazy competitive landscape. It literally gets crazier every day. It's like I like reading the newspaper, but then I don't. But where do we come into play? Agile solutions, transformational impact, seamless integration into the cloud and AI solutions into your existing IT infrastructure. Folks like Andrea and myself work closely with your team to understand your unique requirements and design a solution architecture that really maximizes scalability and, again, security. And again, what we're going to talk about today is the G word, governance. And the other G word is guidance. I look at myself as sort of like the Power Platform Sherpa, if you will. Our team, folks like Andrea and myself, provide expert guidance, support through the implementation and deployment process. We help you navigate the complexities of all the different Microsoft licensing and everything that you ever wanted to know. So very excited about that. So who are WITHM? The WITHM Digital team is part of a much larger organization. Basically, we're the 20th largest accounting certified public accounting firm in the country. In our group, we've got about 100 or so consultants. We've deployed way over 650 projects. We've been doing it for 18 plus years. I happen to be a Microsoft MVP as well as my colleague Diana. And probably my proudest fact on this slide is we are a Microsoft Solutions partner. And I think Jeff is going to talk about that.
I am. Thanks, Jeff. So a lot of folks on the call may not be familiar with how the Microsoft Partnership Program works. And one thing to call out here is that WITHM has been a managed Microsoft partner for some time. As a Microsoft managed partner, they're going to have a higher level of expertise, support, collaboration with Microsoft. So you noticed we've got 3 Microsoft employees on the call today as part of the benefits and expertise that is allowed for WITHM. So over the last couple of years, we've been part of a Microsoft Partner Network. In October of 2022, we made the switch to the Cloud Partner Program. And as part of that Cloud Partner Program, we have different solution designations that our partners can go and earn. Right now, Witham has 4 of those solution designations and also has 2 partner specializations. So they have proven their expertise within the Microsoft Partner Network or the Cloud Partner Program, and they have basically set themselves apart to receive more assistance, more resources, more guidance, more training from the Microsoft partner team. So we're happy to be here and support Witham throughout this conversation, and we're glad that everybody has joined and has provided their time to allow us to talk about it. So Jeff, back over to you.
Thanks, Jeff. It's actually kind of flattering, having been in the Microsoft ecosystem myself for close to 20 years, hearing that we are part of the sort of much smaller Microsoft partner network, where we get this kind of support from Microsoft. And leading up to today's presentation, we obviously had dry runs with Microsoft, and just getting the feedback and just to make us be a better partner. I mean, that's the bottom line. So I thank you for your partnership, Microsoft, Manish, Neem, and Jeff, and let's continue. So this idea of surging digital demand and what's going to happen in the future. In the next 5 years, there are going to be close to 750,000 apps created. Obviously, that's more than the past 40 years combined. 85% of these organizations struggle to analyze the data that they garner from these apps. Why is that important to you? Because there's this surging demand for the solutions. And to top it off, 1/2 of the digital work currently being performed is going to be automated. And what's that going to do? That's going to free up employees to really tackle more impactful projects throughout your organization. That is going to also help with the knowledge and insights in your organization. That's why these numbers are so important. So when I think about these numbers, let me do the little transition here. Understanding what your business objectives are, fostering that sort of culture of collaboration and teamwork, therefore refining that IT strategy. When I think of 43% of employees think about this, enabling flexibility, scalability, embracing the agile methodology, implementing a DevOps best practices program. One of my favorite things to do is develop that technology roadmap and business metrics and reporting, things that we don't really think about on a day-to-day basis, continuous learning and development, and then really fostering and nurturing those relationships between business leaders and the stakeholders, those folks that are day-to-day, whether it's a frontline worker or the information worker, but really fostering those relationships and really getting the most out of those relationships. Over to you, Andrea.
All right. So thank you for that, Jeff. All right. So we've seen that organizations have this need to digitize, to do low code, no code. All of these apps are being created. All of this stuff is happening. We saw from the previous slide that IT organizations are looking to become strategic enablers, right? Rather than just responding to tickets and all that stuff. And how are they going to do that? So what we're excited about is the Power Platform. And the reason we're so excited about it is because we think that this is what can solve those problems. It really is the world's most complete set of integrated low-code development tools. Microsoft thinks about low-code differently from everybody else. And they have the set of tools that all work together really easily that make this happen. So we just, the people who are on the call probably familiar what, Power Apps is how you create apps, right? User interfaces, forms, things for, really engaging things for users to interact with. Power Automate has 2 flavors, cloud and desktop, and can do some amazing things to automate and, get rid of, replace, repetitive manual labor. Power Virtual Agents within the organization are amazing. Think about all the HR and all the finance questions your teams get and how they could be answered by Power Virtual Agents. Power Pages. Now I want to build a vendor portal to interact with my vendors, but use the same data that I have internally, but still keep it safe. Power Pages is perfect for this. And of course, Power BI brings that all together with the reporting on it all. And with this amazing foundation of Microsoft Dataverse, all of the over 1,000 connectors, as you've probably seen, and of course, all of the AI that's coming. And I'm not going to belabor that point. We've all been talking about it. So now this is great, but here's the thing. Challenges still exist, right? Enterprises like yours, many are still having kind of got to get over the hump. How do we fully embrace the Power Platform? It's a lot, right, to digest. So what's holding them up? Well, first of all, I think a lot of IT departments just don't know where to start with governance, especially if, you kind of had Power Platform, it was there, you weren't really doing anything with it, and suddenly, you run a report and you realize there's 2,000 flows and 1,000 apps, and you say, oh my goodness, how am I going to govern this all, right? So don't know where to start. Also, for larger organizations, with enterprise architects, they're trying to take a top level view, and they don't understand how are we doing oversight of all these things that people are doing, right? We haven't explained that, right? We don't have a plan in place. And then again, citizen developers are sort of different from other folks in the sense that they need more formal and consistent support to help them blossom, to help them stay within, best practices. So it's kind of a different thing even than traditional Office 365, Microsoft 365 champion programs. But so how do we solve this problem? So the way to solve this problem is through a Power Platform Center of Excellence, for sure. And that's probably why you're here, because you already kind of have that sense, right? So what are the 3 things that a Power Platform Center of Excellence will do for you? So it will encapsulate strategy and vision. And people, as a consultant, and I know because I was on the other side of the fence having consultants pitch this to me, very often we'll say, well, what's your strategy? And people kind of roll their eyes, right? Oh, not this again. But you know what? Here it is absolutely critical that you have a strategy and that strategy makes sense within the Power Platform and of course within your organization, right? And then of course you have to have your administration and governance. And what Jeff said before, having that governance, that balance between governance and guidance, right? Where do we have to really make a strong, kind of a no? And where do we say, oh, within this box, have at it? And that's, of course, what we want to get to. And then nurturing and supporting your citizen developers. It has to be a program and it can't be an afterthought. And you have to have folks dedicated to doing it. So all of these things, go to make up a center of excellence. So, what are we going to do about that with them? And what are we doing with our clients about it? So, our Center of Excellence engagements will do things like we will help you, we'll facilitate that strategy. We'll help you write it. We'll put together SharePoint sites about it. Whatever we need to do to make sure that the strategy is there, it's solid, it's dovetailed with your IT strategy, and help you pitch it to senior management. We will, now you may have heard of this thing called the COE Starter Kit from Microsoft, and Neem and I are going to talk a little bit about this in an upcoming slide. But this starter kit is a set of tools that can help you govern and monitor and then nurture your citizen developers, a set of apps and flows, all kinds of reporting. It's complicated. It's a little bit complicated. They've made it a lot better. They now have a wizard for installation, which is amazing. But we'll help you get that installed and we'll train your folks on its usage. Then we'll analyze the reporting, and I'm finding this is the hardest thing because when you get all this reporting, it's very difficult if you're not experienced to know what's noise and what's something I really need to pay attention to. And so we've developed this 3-phase methodology to kind of take you from, even if you're kind of in the Wild West stage of Power Platform governance, we can use these 3 phases to get you where you want to be, and remediate the issues. Either we'll tell you how to remediate them, or we can do it. However, again, we're very flexible that way. We help create SOPs, training materials, and we'll help you. There's a fantastic Power Platform Information Hub template that the SharePoint folks have put out. And we're finding it's amazing, but of course, it's just a start. And we have some other materials that we add to it to help fill it out and make it yours. We'll assist in the creation of communication materials. So we have folks internally who are certified change management practitioners. So we can certainly help with that. We have a lot of experience doing that. And of course, helping you design the Citizen Developer Program intentionally, and so that it's eventually going to nurture that community, so that the folks in IT are not the ones running it. The citizen developers are the ones running it, right? That's where we eventually want to get to. I know that was a lot, but you can tell I'm excited about what we do. So if you were to engage with us, this is kind of how it would work. So first, we'll, again, understand your strategy. We'll establish the governance procedures. We'll install the COE starter kit and make sure that we've configured it based on those 2 prior steps, and then help you monitor your environment in whatever way you want to do it. And our 3 phases I talked about, just to be clear, the first phase is what we call silent remediation, and that's all the things that
I think we have lost Angie.
you have.
There she goes.
Oh, yep,
There
I'm
she
back.
is.
I don't know what that was, a little blip in my network, so sorry. But if you have 10 or 20,000, that's probably somebody telling me be quiet, I don't know. If you have 10 or 20,000 users, that this is not something you can undertake lightly. So we start with the silent remediation. What things can we do incrementally? Then we'll turn on the automated compliance and the COE starter kit, and then get you ready to nurture your citizen developers. So having said all that, this slide, I'm just going to, kind of gloss over it, but there's, again, this amazing COE starter kit has kind of a plethora of things in it. But again, we're adding a lot of value. So let me explain really quickly. So going from left to right, so there are lots of alerts and maker communication that come standard that are quite good, but we also help you create new ones, customized ones. And we've also created a custom email management app that sits on top of the COE starter kit, because our clients are finding they want to do more customization of the emails, branding and such than the starter kit allows. So report analysis, again, amazing visualizations and reports come with this, Power BI reports. But as I said before, we help with the analysis. We also can add on, obviously, to those reports based on your needs. We help you understand all these flows and things that are running to monitor and keep the whole thing going, collect your inventory and all that. We help you prioritize and remediate those findings. We don't just say, here's the one by one. All right. I don't know what this never happens to my internet. So, clearly because I'm presenting today, that's what's happening. The demo gods, as we call them. Also, there are a lot of components in the COE starter kit. They're fantastic. We help you figure out when to implement which ones. Okay. And we do have, there is one called for Innovation Backlog. We actually have a customized version of that that we've developed. That we think also adds some value there. Again, we can help you expand reporting, and we don't just say, here are some things to give out to your makers. we give you kind of a community building starter kit, and we have what we call a responsible maker course that helps people know that, with great power comes great responsibility. So, Neem, let me turn it over to you because I know COE starter kit, is your specialty.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrea. So, hi everyone, I'm Neem Dong. I'm a cloud solution architect on Microsoft partner team. My goal is really helping partners to build repeatable and scalable offers on AppSource. Withum is one of our Microsoft strategic partner. As an ACSA, I'm focusing on helping partners to build deep technical capabilities. And I make sure that with them is enabled. I engage with them frequently and make sure they're on top of industry trend and technology. I have worked with them on building and validating these offers that you see at Microsoft COE Starter Kit. With them already aware that COE is not just about installing the COE toolkit. It is way more than that. It's about change management process. It's about to empower and engage employees while putting the governance into the Power Up platform or local practice. I heard many great stories and success stories from Withum when building Microsoft Power Platform practice or implementing the Center of Excellence. So I'll let Antonio continue with this so that you can hear those success stories and how Withum plan to implement the Power Platform Center Excellence for you guys.
Thank you so much, Neem. Yeah, it's been great working with you hand in hand. I've learned a lot. It's been super. Thank you so much. All right, so now let's get kind of to the nitty gritty. So for a starter engagement, obviously, everything we've been talking about obviously takes some time, but you can really get a lot done in the first 4 weeks if you put in a concentrated effort. So our offering focuses on that. That's kind of get started, get to know you. In the first 2 weeks, we're doing that workshop to talk about strategy, understanding how you want to govern things, what other governance comes into play in your organization, reviewing the security framework for how you want your developers to operate. And then in the second half of the engagement, developing those procedures, installing and configuring the COE starter kit if it's not already done, or upgrading it, which many people also need help with. And then training your IT staff, right? Building capacity, because it's all about, it's not about us doing it. It's about us handing it, giving you enough knowledge to hand it off to you to, sustain. And that's what that engagement is all about. And so the benefits here are we're starting to establish those formal governance procedures for your developers as they start building their new applications. Everybody's developing an understanding of how to use the starter kit, and with the goal of ensuring every solution is secure and complies with all your standards. So that's really what we're after there. So I'm going to turn it over to Jeff now because I think I've gotten excited enough, and turn it over to Jeff and talk about a customer success story.
Thanks, Andrea. Appreciate it. So we're going to talk about really a recent Withum client that I've known for a super long time. And I would say what we're going to talk about today is how they came to be and sort of what the challenge. This is sort of like the power slide, if you will.
Yeah.
Many clients that I talk to, why do we need this? We're happy with what we've got. It's important to really provide concrete evidence of what are some key points and challenges. I would say I'm going to kind of just list a few of the sort of obstacles, if you will, that we had to overcome. The capabilities. Power Platform, obviously, there's such incredible, powerful tools that come with it. Power Apps, Power Automate. Andrea just talked about it. Power BI, Power Virtual Agents. It's basically that unified platform enabling your organization, especially this organization, to build those custom applications, automate processes, analyzing data, creating those virtual agents for intelligent interactions. Another big thing was the ease of use of the low-code approach. I'm a non-technical user myself, so I was able to quickly learn and leverage the tools to create custom applications, automated workflows, analyzing data without extensive programming knowledge. I think that's like a really big thing right there. Integrated capabilities, seamlessly connect and exchange with various systems, enabling, again, this particular organization to leverage existing investments. And then, of course, being in the Microsoft ecosystem doesn't hurt, right? So as evidenced by having Manish, Neem, and Jeff with us today, showcasing the Power Platform's capabilities, ease of use, integration possibilities, support. These are all going to be what I would consider not quick wins, long-term wins. And that's a big way that we got over these challenges of why Power Platform. So what does this solution actually look like? Well, what exactly was it? So per what I just had mentioned, we evaluated their current usage, what they were doing and how they were doing it. And guess what? We're also able to save them quite a bit of money in licensing, which is not any small feat. We provided many proofs of concept within the Power Platform that not only replaced their current vendor, but actually improved on some of these automation tools. And then guess what? The beauty of this solution is we created a roadmap for them where we were able to set up tools and processes for launching what I just mentioned, the Citizen Developer Program. Andrea is very passionate about it. I'm passionate about it. That's where what I would consider the secret sauce of this particular project was really giving them the keys, showing them what to do, and then letting them do it. But again, having it managed, set up some guardrails as well, so it's not the wild, wild west. So what were the results? What actually happened? So having this dedicated business automation Power Platform team fully engaged, Citizen Developer Program has been rolled out. The employees are engaged on a regular basis. Andrea and our team help with the governance strategy, proactive, reactive monitoring, licensing strategy. I mentioned this earlier. This responsible maker course that we provided them, and then advanced rubrics for evaluating this. And at the end of the day, what am I always thinking about? How can we save the customer money? What does that look like? So really giving them a true ROI on their investment. So for the folks that are in the audience today, is this for you? It's not for everyone, but I will say that it's definitely for medium-sized organizations, large organization, medium. I mean, we just deployed something for about 100 employees, and I wasn't sure if that was going to be the right solution or not. But sure enough, it has been the right solution. They want to drive innovation. They need to rapidly build applications. And then they don't really think about, again, the G word, the governance, but having a strong governance around it. You don't want it to be too confining that people can't do their thing. You want to make sure that it's open enough that people can innovate and come up with some fantastic solutions that could be used for their organizations. For larger organizations, it's also pretty easy, bringing hundreds or thousands of apps under governance and in compliance. Innovating at scale using low-code tools. Power Platform has got a plethora of them. There is no shortage of tools, and there's no shortage of having these citizen developers that I talked about really developing on a regular basis. And then something that I'm really good at, as well as Andrea, is really building that community, building an internal community. I used to do the exact same thing with SharePoint back in the day, and of course I still do. But let's have these internal communities of, we'll call them power addicts. They get together monthly, maybe bring in pizza, and really solve business problems. We're not doing this just to do it. We're doing it to solve business problems. And guess what? We just happen to have the expertise As you could probably tell from Andrea, myself, and the Microsoft team, we are the trusted advisors. We are the ones that are going to help you with your digital transformation roadmap. I mentioned earlier, I look at myself as sort of the digital transformation Sherpa, the Power Platform Sherpa, Andrea and I. How can we help you? And I just listed a few things of ways that we could help, whether it's employee engagement using Viva, whether it's an RPA replacement using Power, whatever it is, infrastructure, cloud migrations. I've been in the migration world for, again, the past 15, 20 years. Migrating, one project that I've been seeing a lot of is really seeing the movement from a current RPA solution and then migrating the bots over to Power Platform. And as a little bonus, maybe have us help you create a few bots and show you what that's like. Andrea, if you want to add anything here, feel free, or maybe I covered it all on that.
Yeah, I think that's great, Jeff. Great,
Okay.
great.
In summary, what did we discuss today? So really having those training programs, knowledge exchanges to really effectively use Power Platform. That's going to help drive adoption. It's going to help drive usage, and really, without being too dramatic, change the face of the organization, helping them remove obstacles, build automated processes, helping solve those business problems that maybe you didn't even know about. So knocking down those barriers and opening up the doors. Obviously our unique offerings and expertise can help solve those problems and assure that ROI that I keep on talking about and the results achieved by internet. We had mentioned the results from the food company that we had done work with, and obviously our amazing partnership with Microsoft. Sometimes I don't even think about it because I've been in the Microsoft ecosystem for so long, but when I think about almost every single project that I do, I get my folks from Microsoft involved in, because you've got your account executive, you've got your biz apps person that's going to help us with the Power Platform. I've got my modern work person that I deal with. I don't even think about it because they're a part of my everyday life. So I'm going to pass it over to my partner in crime, Manish, to talk about probably what I would call the money slide, the circle of trust.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Microsoft fellow team and my V team from Vidum. Excellent. And a big thank you to everyone who's on this call, who is giving us such a valuable hour of time and listening in. There are a lot of intelligent information flowing through this this section. As you heard, Jeff Rigsby mentioned why 3 Microsoft FTE full-time employees are here on this call. What is that? This is what basically empowering the partner with the Cloud Partner Program. And that's what we usually do. And that's what it reflects, the circle of trust. Myself, I'm a partner technology strategist, and my friend Jeff Rigsby, who covers the business side of the partner business. And my friend Andrea, who covers technical deep dive, being a cloud solution architect. And I build a strategy aligning business priorities with the technical capabilities. Now, when we are helping a partner from the all 3 front, we want to make sure we stay engaged in the not only the solution building process, which it shows in the circle of trust, but also making a customer success to the life by onboarding the customer successfully. And that's what exactly the objective of today's session is. We look at this circle of trust. We start with the partner by planning and engaging and building a solution by putting together a lot of moving components. As Andrea showed, I was reading that slide. There are probably 10, 12 products of Microsoft Cloud products from Power Platform SKU is there. And I consider those products as a more of a Lego pieces. I mean, there are so many things you can do. It's your creativity. It's your business objective or business problem. That's where we empower our partner to achieve, to solve that business problem by different permutation and combination of those products. Think of this as Legoland, and you have a Lego pieces there. Creativity is yours to build a car out of it or a ship out of it. So we make it happen successfully with the partner to solve the customer problem. And on top of that, when we are in this process, Neem was so kind and so to show how she works with the partner team on the technical front to build the enablement. I would double click on this. It's a very, very tedious and very deep process. What she does is she's deeply engaged with the partner to make sure all the technical capability and the capacity of customer onboarding is completely built within the partner team. Having said that, when we all three of us, Jeff Rigsby as a business side, Neem on the technical side, and I'm on the technical strategy side, when we all three get satisfied and we see this solution does meet the Microsoft standard, and does solve the customer problem, what we are building for, or what Vidam is up for solving, then Neem provides a tech team validation certification to that solution. And as soon as that certification happens, all other Microsoft partner program certifications start falling in. As Jeff mentioned, there are like 3 or 4 advanced specialization is in. So Vidam is very deeply, bottom line is Vidam is very deeply engaged with us building this business, and we help Vidam not only building a solution first time, but stay engaged in this infinite loop of circle of trust. So that if the new customer opportunity comes up and the scenario is never built and tested before, we immediately get engaged with them in the background, and we enable the partner by testing them in the different POC environment, and that way their team gets a special training. So bottom line, Microsoft cannot reach to the customers, all of the customers, but we have our extended hands with the partner like Vidam, who helps us solving the customer program. I'll be happy to answer any question during Q&A if there is any engagement question. Back to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Manish. So we've got our contact information on the next slide, but I just wanted to give the folks that are on the call, obviously a thank you, but Andrea is going to discuss a special offer on a half-day workshop that we're going to be for all the folks that are on the call. Before you leave, Andrea.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, and thank you so much, Manish and Neem and Jeff Rigsby. It's so great to have you on this call, and to be working so closely with you. So for the folks who are on this call, what we are going to do today is we're going to offer a complimentary half-day workshop. If you already have the starter kit, we will evaluate what you have, run some reports with you, evaluate the reports, kind of define some next steps, and start you on that strategy and roadmap journey. Or if you haven't yet ventured into starter kit territory, what we'll do is use that time to understand what you want your strategy to be. We'll pull some of the actually very good reporting, out of the box reporting, right, from the Power Platform Admin Center, and look at that. Talk about where you are and where you want to go and next steps. So we're really excited to make this offer. It's not something we do a lot, but we're really excited to make this offer to you today, and I hope you'll take advantage of it. And back to you, Jeff. I think it's Q&A time.
I think it is Q&A, and here is your call to action. Obviously, there's my contact information. For many of you, you know I'm the easiest guy to get a hold of. But Visit our App Store offering. I know a lot of you don't even know about this, but I believe that this link, you could literally click on it right here, and it will take you right to that, because we're using PowerPoint Live, right to the 4-week implementation. So you could see exactly what that offer is, and you'll see some of the other things that we have in the App Store.
Right.
Check out our insights. Andrea and I and a lot of our colleagues have written many blog posts on everything from Power Platform to frontline workers to cloud offerings, migration strategies, and then our website. All of these are live links. I'm not sure if there are any
do we have any
questions
questions?
or if anyone wants to talk about anything. We love talking.
Right now, everybody is on mute. So I guess you would type in the chat.
Yep. Give it a couple of minutes.
Somebody
couple
has to have a
seconds.
question. Come on, people.
Actually, probably the typical question that I get is, where do I start? And it's not necessarily, it's really having a 30-minute conversation with Andrea and myself. What's the problem you're trying to solve? And, we hop on a call, talk about it, come up with a solution for you, proposal, and off to the races.
I would say this, when I go to all the conferences and talk to folks, even from the very largest organizations, don't feel like you're behind, because you're not behind, because everybody's still getting there. This is all pretty new to everybody. So it's okay. You're kind of following along the path that everyone else is following along. So we'd love to talk to you and help you. It's really important.
I know. Yeah, you don't want to be like that person, you're afraid, oh my gosh, I'm not on fill in the blank. It's never too late, especially with the Power Platform, especially, when I'm doing these Viva projects, people are like, oh, it seems like everyone's on fill in the blank. They're not. They're talking about it, but they're not actually doing anything. So use this call to action and let's talk.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Jeff and Andrea. If anyone changes their mind, of course, with a question, please reach out to Jeff at his email address that's on the slide. I'm also going to be dropping the link to our Power Minute playlist in the chat. That's Jeff and Andrea's more than a minute Power Minute video series that they mentioned earlier. That's a great place to familiarize yourself even more with Power Minute, and it's just a fast way of getting information. So with that, I want to thank everyone so much for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed this and you found a lot of value in the presentation.